run down po some house rules makasave ng bandwidth sa ating mga participants. Drop your questions in the chat box section. This will be accommodated during Q&A portion of the webinar. So yung Q&A po ay mangyayari mamaya po after ng discussion po ng ating RP. Okay. So, susunod po, be sure to listen and take notes. In lieu of the certificates, you have to fill out the evaluation form and pass the post-webinar assessment. So, mamayang after po ng webinar, magkakaroon po tayo ng assignments na need po natin isubmit. So, next one po, yung digital certificates po will be given within 2 to 3 weeks po after this webinar. Like our FB page, DICT LC3 Sorsogon, to know more of our upcoming schedules and activities. So to introduce po our resource speaker, may I turn po the mic to our provincial officer, Ms. Divina Cantero. Ma'am Divina po.
Hello, take 2. Good morning everyone. Welcome to our webinar for this morning. It's quite early, but then we will expect that this webinar is very exciting. It is not a new topic, but then it is very important. So, maswerte po yung naka-register at yung mga naka-live po ngayon, because we will be starting the first of the 3 webinars we will be conducting for this month, offering of the DICT LC3, particularly Sorsogon province. So ito po, we'll have 3 webinars actually. The first is Introduction to Online Copywriting. The second is Writing Web and Blog Contents. And the third is Writing for Social Media. So ito po yung una-una. So dapat mapag-aralan po natin, mapakinggan po natin, at mayroon pong assignment si Miss, sa ating speaker. Now, sige po. Usually the tradition was the ICT to go from town to town, municipalities, barangay, and we conduct trainings. But then, dahil nga po sa ating new situation, ng ating pandemic, so we resort to ICT, using ICT. So this is how we will use our ICT to its advantage talaga, to our advantage actually. So we are now conducting webinars through online, through internet. So kaya nga po, mas maganda at the comfort of your homes, where we are learning at the same time, we are meeting other people from other places through internet, di ba? Hindi na tayo lalakad. So without further ado, I'd like to give my introduction to the next speaker. Our speaker is an online copywriter and a content manager based in Bicol, Philippines. She has worked with several clients from the US, the United Kingdom, Australia, and the Philippines since 2008. She is also the owner and artist of Panitika Art, wherein she creates and features several mini opera, customized cards, but still encourages the art of letter writing. So with her love for learning, writing, and teaching, our speaker has been invited as a mentor and resource speaker by various groups to share about digital content. She has also been involved both with local and international groups, catering to entrepreneurs, digital experts and enthusiasts, and missionaries. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll give the floor to our speaker, Ms. Jenny G. Jimenez. Hi, Ms. Jenny. Ms. Jenny, hello. Hi, Ms. Jen.
Hello.
Good adjustment technically. Ms. Jenny is here with, dito siya sa office po namin.
Everyone.
Jenny.
So, thank you for the introduction.
Oh, may. Wait po. Adjust natin yung kanyang audio. Sige po, sino-sino na po ba ang nandito sa atin sa chat? Oo. Sige, nag-reconnect lang po si Miss Jen. So, sige po, greet muna natin yung ating from Maayon, Capiz. Saan pa po galing ating mga participants? From Bulacan. See you sound ni ma'am. Good morning. So, mga taga saan po sila? Nasaan na po yung mga taga Sorsogon? Teka. Sige. Nag-reconnect lang po siya. From Pangasinan. Okay po. Good morning. Sige po. Ano kaya ang difference ng online copywriting sa traditional copywriting? At bakit po natin dapat pag-aralan ang copywriting? So it's another option po natin. Miss Jenny, hello. Ready ka na, Miss Jen? Dito na lang kaya si Miss Jenny. Pwede po. Nakikita niyo po sa likod ko yung aking background. This is Bulusan Lake. Yan. It's located in province of Sorsogon. It's a natural body of water. Nasa Bulusan volcano po yan. And you can do kayaking, boating, hiking. So pagka okay na po tayo sa normal, you can go to Sorsogon and visit this place. Miss Jenny, are you ready? Okay na pa?
Yes, I'm
Oh dear. Sige po, lilipat lang muna si Miss Jen ng room. Alam niyo po, pag live, talaga po hindi maiwasan ng may mga technical difficulties. Ayan, Miss Jen. Test mic. Hello po. Yung mga nandito po, good morning. Kayo po ba madalas na nakaka-attend ng webinars ng DICT? I do po. Lagi po kayo nakaabang sa mga webinars ng especially ng Luzon Cluster 3. Please. Antipolo. From Taguig, Metro Manila. Hello po. From Zamboanga del Sur and from Kuwait. Aba. We're going international from Albay, Quezon Province. Live here. Nueva Ecija. Oh, hello po. Bienvenida. From Mabuhay. Buenos dias. From Atungao Elementary School, District of Bulacan, Nueva Vizcaya, Cavite, Taguig Pateros, SDO Batangas. Miss Jen, anytime?
Yes, I am okay na po.
Sige po, take it away, Miss Jen.
Good morning, everyone. I have to start the presentation. Yung presentation nila.
Ako, yan na po yung presentation na.
Nandun na sa.
Yan na po.
Okay.
Yan na po nakapresent po.
Thank you. So, pasensya na po kanina. We were just having a few difficulties, but I think it's okay. So, good morning. Thank you for coming, and thank you also for this opportunity. Thank you, Ms. Define, for the invitation. So this is the first of the 3 series which will be conducted on online copywriting, and So right now, for the first, we're just going to have an introduction. So it's not going to be something heavy. The reason why I decided to just have it on 3 series rather than isang time na, or one time lang na isang bagsakan is because may mga parts ng online copywriting which needs to be focused more. And also, of course, I know that this is a skill set that you can develop. So, kailangan din medyo may time din to understand every detail of it. So, for this one, it's the introduction. So, you can just grab a coffee, chill out. But, of course, I would like to advise you to have a pen and paper close by. Or if you have, you can just open up your notepad on your computer. Just take notes of whatever I'm going to share and you think that can be useful. So I think I'm going to skip my introduction. So for the objectives for this day, our objectives are: first is to understand why copywriting is important. Second is to have a clear idea how copywriting is done and define what copywriting and a copy is. So why? See, during my journey as an online copywriter, anyway, I've been into copywriting since 2008. And during that time, there are so many misconceptions, especially recently, that lalo na ngayon na may mga nag-start na rin na mag-copyright. So one misconception that I've always met is, sabi nila, copywriting is just writing. So, hindi nila nakikita din yung mga other areas of what copywriting is, like other than the research. In online copywriting, there are other stuff that you need to consider, not just writing. Usually kasi, di ba, the traditional way of writing, or when I was in college actually, one of the things that nag-hit sa akin before is, when you write to be understand. But when you do online copywriting, it's more because you understand the people or the readers rather than you want to be understood by them. So another misconception that we're going to debunk for this day is copywriting is just blogging and website writing. No, it's not. So most of the time kasi sabi nila, since di ba nauso before na pag copywriter ka or writer ka, meron kang blog, nagsuset ka na sa website. But actually, we are technically all writers in our way, especially with social media being available. So another misconception that we're going to check on is very expensive. But since enthusiasts naman yung bibili, enthusiasts ang mga target, ibig sabihin, they are really into this and they are really, they may be a potential customer. So yeah. Travel. Okay, dito naman tayo sa minivans. Sabi dito ni minivan, travel in comfort and style with your family this summer with the new Ford Transit. So we are marketing a car, and that is Ford Transit 350. Again, this is, ginawa ko lang out of the way for this example. So as you may notice, bakit ko sinabing travel in comfort and style with your family? What is the characteristic of a minivan? Usually, minivans are associated with family travels. So, sa ibang bansa, if meron kang mga anak na maliliit, they would prefer minivans over, let's say, a luxury car, or let's say, isang car na ilang seats lang may available. So, that's, kumbaga, they are really targeting, who are their target market? Families. Yung mga may pamilya. So second-hand cars naman are considered cheaper. So sino ba yung target audience nila? Okay, thank you. Okay, so sino ba ang target audience yung distributor T? So one is, let's say, pwedeng maging si student. Di ba sa States, usually, may mga estudyante, college students who would have their own cars. Dito din sa Philippines, merong iba when they are taking up masters or maybe law school or medicine. For med students, they would have their own car for convenience. Andun yung mga gamit nila, then they would go to class, and tapos pagbalik nila, kunin na lang nila yung mga books nila na nasa kotse. So, for convenience purposes, and since hindi naman siya yung long term, parang for that sake lang, of course, they would prefer, let's say, second-hand cars. It's cheaper than the brand new ones, and it's for that specific use. So, anong message kanya? Grab the latest student card deals. Yan. So, may target talaga. Na alam nila na students are more, they have a specific budget. They have a low budget to be natin for that. And they would be interested in these kind of deals. Yeah, they would check a car more at a cheaper price or maybe at a specific discounting school year. So as you may notice, lahat sila, there are specific content, tinarget yung gusto nilang taong kausapin. At the same time, yung sa iba dito, like sa luxury cars and sa minivans, they have a specific product that they want to market. So luxury car model enthusiasts, the families to target market, and the student. So that's an example of how you create targeted content and what is and why do we need to learn copywriting? Because if we give it, let's say, ito lang na general content, then we will be just creating noise or adding up to the noise out there in messaging. So hindi talaga natin ma-grab yung attention ng mga tao that we want to talk to. Okay. So copywriting, takeaway, is not just writing. It's about communicating. And usually, when we communicate to someone, we listen to them, we know how they are feeling, we try to understand where they're coming from or what their feelings are. So that we can be, we will be able to communicate or share our thoughts with them as well. How to communicate effectively, you must determine, one, what your business specifically offers. Let's say you may be selling a lot of stuff, but there will always be that one thing that highlights your business or one thing na sabihin natin you're more known for, or what is the why you are doing your business. So who your target audience is the second thing that you need to determine. Kasi hindi naman lahat, especially online, since everybody is online, especially now in the pandemic, not everyone online is your target audience. Hindi lahat mahilig. Let's say you're selling beauty products. Hindi lahat mahilig sa beauty products. Let's say you're selling mga seafoods for delivery. Hindi lahat pwede sa seafood. And of course, another thing that you have to determine is why they consume what you offer. Bakit nila kailangan kung ano man yung binibenta mo. The next. So to understand that, we now go to how to do copywriting. So sa copywriting, how to do it, we have to, sabi natin kanina, determine why you are writing a message. So first is it to update? Are you giving them a news about, let's say, di ba kanina yung car offers, we say, merong isang bagong luxury car that's coming this September. Is it to update them of a new product that you're going to sell? Number two, is it to educate? And when we say educate, it is to actually inform them or give them, let's say, how-to or tips. Let's say, how are you going to maintain a certain car or a certain car model? That's one. Another is, are you writing to offer a deal? Like kanina yung nakita natin, di ba yung sa student? We are offering them a student card deal, student card deal for this coming full year. You have to determine, bakit ba ako susulat? Ano ba yung gusto kong ibigay sa babasa nito doon sa target audience ko? So another that you have to take note is determine who your audience is. So when we say determine, you are going to create a profile or a persona. So si persona naman, it's another strategy. Hindi ko na siya masyadong in-elaborate dito kasi it's going to be very detailed. But just to give you an overview, when you say persona, and sometimes you can give them a name. First, you have to determine ano ba yung age usually ng target audience mo. Are they young adults? Are they young professional? Are they young professional adults? Are they young? Are they postgraduates? Are they moms? Are they between 25 to 35? Yeah. So another is the location. Hindi naman lahat ng offers natin, syempre, hindi naman siya lahat nationwide ang binibigay. Some of course, pwede din mag-international. But the question is, who are your specific? Where are they really located? So let's say, taga Sorsogon ka, pero ang ino-offer mo na services is actually mas kaya ng mga taga Manilang bilhin, and you can just deliver it to them. That's a good example. You target specifically, you know exactly where they are, where you want to branch out. Let's say a franchise. You want to franchise the business that you have right now. Siyempre, hindi ka na mag-franchise dito sa Sorsogon kasi meron ka na dito sa Sorsogon or wherever location you are. So gusto mo, let's say you want to franchise in Baguio. So ang target audience mo is mga taga Baguio. So that is the location. So bakit mo kailangan alamin yung location? You have to understand their culture. Ano ba yung situation doon? That is the reason why. So another is si gender. Babae ba sila? Karamihan ba sa kanila babae? Or mas karamihan sa kanila lalaki? So para alam mo din kung paano mo ito tone down or how are you going to write your content. Their status. Yan. Hindi lang to yung single or married na status. Let's say, are they working? Are they young professionals? Are they students? Ano ba yung trabaho nila? Ano ba usually ang ginagawa nila? Posible. So, yan. And of course, their problem. Everything that we offers a solution to a certain problem. The question now is why this solution or why your product, why your service. So you have to understand ano bang pinagdadaanan nila. So in order for you to know exactly how your product or your service can provide a solution to them. So that is how you do your persona. You give a personality to your target audience. You can give a name, or you can jot down more like what are their characteristics. Are they usually jolly? Are they usually problematic? Do they worry a lot? So, yeah. So another thing that you have to take note is what is your platform. Of course, in doing copywriting, you have to determine exactly kung saan ka talaga magbibigay ng content mo. Some would go for social media. Let's say the best platform that you can have right now or where you can communicate to your target audience is on Facebook. So ano ba yung characteristic ni Facebook? That's one. Twitter. Yeah. Instagram. Because the way you write your content differs from every platform. You can't write a Facebook content type to a Twitter. Kasi si Twitter, ang characteristic niya is, once you write it down, magpapass mo lang siya sa newsfeed and then that's it. Si Facebook naman, the more likes you gain, the more shares, the more engagement, magpapakita yan parati sa newsfeed ng mga tao. So sa Instagram naman, while pwede din natin sabihin natin, pwede natin i-copyhin din yung content natin kay Facebook or yung caption natin kay Facebook. The problem is the Instagram is more on photos. So, pwede natin i-limit yung caption natin. Pwede din natin shorten it or maybe present the content in a different manner. So, blog. Are you blogging your product? Are you blogging your services? So, how are you going to deliver? First, are you going to do a product review of your product? Or are you going to feature kung ano man yung mga, what is the product about? Or is it a news content? Like, let's say a breakthrough on every person who used your product. So there. Another platform, of course, is your web content. If you have a website, then what is your product offer? Is it a product description that you're going to write? Or is it a buyer's update? Meaning to say there are already subscribers to your website, and then you're just going to give out, let's say, emails to them. So, yeah. So let's go back to core distributor. So kanina ito yung example natin. Diba? As you can see, diba, we have a specific target audience. We have the luxury car model enthusiast, the family, the student. So alam natin ganyan. So ano ba yung characteristic ni student? Dito tayo kay student muna. So usually sa student, bakit siya bibili ng kotse? Para ipaglagyan siya ng gamit. So yun lang, most of the time yun yung reason. Another is convenience. Hindi na siya magdadala ng mabigat na gamit. Everything is in his car. And not to mention, pwede silang umalis sa bahay nang hindi sila mag-worry about commute. Traffic lang yung i-worry nila. So family, ano ba usually ang characteristics? Bakit kailangan minivans yung kinukuha nila? Versus meron silang mga batang maliliit. So they want to have, let's say, a place where they can install their car seats for their kids. They want it more comfortable, etc., etc. So sa luxury car models, bakit sila mahilig sa mga luxury cars? They just want it, and they just, like, maybe it's a way for them to show it off, or it's a joy for them, or basically they have money to buy a luxury car. So that's one thing. So the best way to give their content is according to their characteristic, or according to how they would usually grab their attention. So anyways, regarding your questions, later after this, I will be entertaining them. So let's move forward. So one of the takeaways for this is copywriting requires understanding your audience's needs. So, yun. So dito naman tayo. So the last part is, what is copywriting? So copywriting is writing to sell. As simple as that. Based from why do we have to learn how to do copywriting or how to do copywriting, basically it's all about selling pa rin. So how are we going to sell? Online, we don't sell like directly. There are some content that we can, let's say, directly give the message of a direct selling, but most of the time it's always about educating them, informing them, encouraging them, basically communicating to your target audience how your product or service can be a solution to their problem. As I said earlier, you are writing because you understand them, not because you want to be understood. So a copy, yun yung mga content na sinusulat natin. A copy can be a caption on social media. B, another is an image text. Yung mga tinatawag namin na annotations, if you have an image, tapos may mga one-liners lang. Yan. Hindi siya madali actually. May mga certain rules din yan. Bakit one lines lang, minsan 3 words lang yung kailangan sa isang image. There are rules for that. Another is, a copy can be a blog article. It can be an email. It can be a PDF. It can be a script. It's a script to a vlog that you're going to do, a newsletter, a website, or a website homepage content, and many more. Yes, it's not just a sales page. Usually, ang sales page, direct selling siya, so it discusses the why, why you have to have the product, what is the product, how are you going to get the product, how can it help you, how the product can help you, and what will happen if you did not get the product. Usually, get a new sales page, yung format lang yan. So let's continue. So another misconception din na parating na isip ng tao pag sinabing copywriter ka, di ba sinasabi parating? Ako personally, they always say, he's a writer. So puro writing lang. But actually, as a copywriter, you can be a social media manager, an email marketer, and an editor, and many more. You can be a content strategist, you can be a content planner, you can be a lead marketer. Then, because you have the research skills, the skills that you can develop in copywriting, especially when you do it, is becoming an online sleuth, meaning you become like, you have to be good at research, or you will develop being good at research. So, kasi syempre, online, every content that you put out there will be seen by so many. and it can be misunderstood at times. Minsan naman, it can be misunderstood. It can mislead someone if you don't have, let's say, the right basis, or if you haven't delivered it correctly. I remember this one time wherein I had this content and I only had one resource for it, and the editor just had to put it down because of complaints. Ang sad part nun is andun yung name ko. But that mistake actually made me more cautious of where I'm going to base my content. Recently, I've been following certain fan accounts. Believe it or not, it's yung mga fan accounts, yung mga, syempre, uso ngayon yung mga K-drama. Yung mga fan accounts, minsan, they are, especially in IG, they are so fun to observe because you can actually get an idea how effectively they can actually target their audience and how they repost content, how they acknowledge other resources just for their certain claims, etc., etc. But there was one that did not give a certain basis or lacks basis, but the way the content was written, maybe one of these days I can give you the a screenshot if I can find it. The way it was written was as if convincing, but the fact that it doesn't have any basis, meaning it's just a rumor. So that's one way. It can lead to different it can lead to problems, especially when people pick it up and even reshare it. That's how important it is for us to be more careful in what we write out there. So especially if you're going to take on these roles eventually. So you are not just a writer, you can be a researcher. So you can be a social media manager, meaning you have to also check on every content that you post or every content that your writer gives you. So let's continue. So copywriting is a skill you can develop. So it doesn't necessarily mean na hindi ka magaling magsulat ngayon or hindi ka sanay magsulat ngayon, hindi ka na pwede maging copywriter. There are many ways for you to practice, but it always starts with you being determined on pursuing this, and really, it's a continuous skill actually development. Like for example, ako personally, I also go through studying recently more on sa ads naman yung pinag-aaralan ko. So for this copywriting series, we're done with Introduction to Copywriting. And if you have questions regarding blogging and web content or social media, the second and third series will be, we will be answering those, or we will be discussing it eventually. So I think that's it. Shall we start with answering? Okay. Oh, good morning. Could we have a copy of the power? Yes, you may. I'll give it to the office, either to the ICT, so they can have it. How do copywriters handle criticism? Yeah. One of the things is when you do copies for the client, ang pinaka mag-criticize you actually is the client. Kasi when you put the content out there, it's not your name that's going to be placed on it, it's the client's name. So, kaya meron tayong quality checking din. Pero most of the time when you handle criticism, you have to have an open mind as much as possible. You have to do your research, and you have to be able to defend and also keep it calm. Criticisms are very normal online. Medyo harsh nga lang, but you have to handle it with grace and being polite and being open. If you need to take it down, take it down. That's it. Ma'am, kailangan po yung dalawang series ng webinar. It's up to you. If you want to study more on the website
assignment
content and ano po?
Yeah, I was so sorry. Yun sa assignment ni Miss Jenny kasi I was waiting for that. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sige po. So sabi dito, kailangan yung dalawang series ng webinar. It's up to you po. If you want to know more about social media, copywriting, yeah, it's supposed to be the second, but after nakita ko yung progress din, possible progress and possible assignments, it would be best to have it on the third, because if you want to know more about social media, you have to attend the blogging and the website, the second series. Pero kung hindi ka naman interested, kung hindi naman po kayo interested, let's say, sa social media, and you want to focus more on your website content and your blog content, then you can keep it with the second seminar. But of course, I would still advise you to take the third. Mas titigas yun. So, is copywriting applicable for all people and professions? Yes. Copywriting is all about selling. So, you know that your resume is actually a form of copywriting. You're selling yourself. You are showing or you are marketing your skills, or you're marketing your skills, you're marketing your profession, you're marketing whatever it is that you can offer. Yes, it is applicable for all professions. Kahit pa karpentero ka, so parang mino-market mo, ano ba ang pinagkaiba ko sa ibang karpentero? Parang ganun. So, sige. Kung may copywriting po, there is copy editing. What are some of the guidelines po for copy editing? So, copy editing, you know what makes it easier right now is there are online tools to help you edit. But one of the things that you need to consider with copy editing is the culture of your target audience. Yan yung common mistake kasi there are times that I meet writers who are so good in English, perfect grammar, but the way they deliver or the way they speak in English or the words that they use are not applicable to the target audience. Iba ang language or iba yung tirada mo ng sentence. Let's say when your target audience are from Australia, iba din from UK. Although the spelling of some of their words are similar, yung isa, pwede mong sabihin na they went to the park. Yung isa naman, hindi. Iba-iba din. So that's one thing that you have to consider in copy editing. You have to consider also in tone. But yun lang talaga, yung pinaka-crucial dun is the culture. Kung kanino mo binabato yung content or kung sino yung kinakausap mo dun sa content. Yeah. Copywriting is communicating well to motivate others to get interested in a product, right? Product, yes, that's one. But you can also use it, let's say, if you have a cause or you have, or you're into missions and you want to, let's say, you want to offer help for people who are having anxiety issues. Yeah, it's not just a product, it's not just a service, it's actually in everything. It's all about communicating how you can help them out. So that is basically it. Is article spinning considered? Article spinning, I would not advise this, definitely. It's an old type of copywriting. When you do rewrite then, but you have to be very careful. I would advise that you have, let's say, if a client would ask you to spin articles, because there are online tools for that, you say no. You definitely say no. Or if hindi talaga maiiwasan na gusto talaga niya ng ganon, what you do is you have other resources and then you create the article on your own. You can use the article that he wants or that you want it's fun to as your resource, and then have two more resources so as to avoid plagiarism. We heat up yung article spinning kasi when you put the content out there, hindi lang siya mag-focus ng isang issue or case, but rather it will take down the quality of the website. So it's more on the algorithm than Google or whatever browser it is that your website will be searched on. So ganun yung effect na. Especially pag madami, kasi yun yung purpose ng article spinning eh. Pinapadami mo ang version ng isang content. Ma'am, is it good to use simple words or words that will make you? there are simple words which will make them curious. It's just how you're going to deliver it. So, yeah, but yeah, simple words. If your target audience, let's say, gusto mo lang talaga silang to educate, yes, you can use simple words. But if you have a specific target audience na talagang yun ang hilig nila kung ano man yung offer nila, you can use jargons na alam mo maintindihan talaga nila. Pero yeah, pag online, I would suggest avoid highfalutin words. Keep it simple as it is. So, another, do you have a personal tip for beginner copywriters? For beginner copywriters, tips, it would be read, and read. You have to practice, of course. You have to practice with how you're going to deliver your content. Focus on just one client, let's say. If you're going to get a client for yourself, it would be best to have be handled first by someone who has been there. Or in my case, personally, what happened with me is I did not directly apply for a client. I started with SLTCFI. I was trained there. I was already interested in writing, even back in college. So, nangyari is, when I applied for copywriting naman, they had me trained. And even after I was there, I still have managers na I would still go for freelances, which is managed by Filipino copywriters na who have been ahead of me. It's a big help for you to be coached and for you to learn. Hindi yung sumabak ka lang ng bigla na, okay, gusto ko maging copywriter. Okay, mag-apply ako ng isang foreign client. Because honestly, iba-iba din ang ugali ng foreign clients. At least you will know exactly where to develop more your skill, ano ba skill yung kailangan mo i-focus on. Yeah, tsaka in my case, what I did was I focused more on web content during my start and blogging. So, si social media, dumating na lang din yan recently. Which is, kasi it's actually part of SEO back then. But right now, it's a whole new ball game on its own. So, yeah. How saturated is the online job market for online copywriters nowadays? How can you be start? So I think for this one, how can you be start? Yeah, you can start with applying. Kasi madami ngayon, good thing, madami ngayon yung mga nag-offer ngayon. May digital agencies, local startups, and sometimes they're looking for copywriters. But if you want to have, let's say, samples of it, you can start by starting your own blog. Hi. You can start by starting your own blog, and or you can start actually microblogging through social media. That's a good way to have a portfolio. And also, pero kung muna didiretso sa foreign clients, iba-ibang ugali din nila minsan, iba-iba din yung demand. So it's also good then that you get someone who can protect you with your interest and all regarding your work schedule. Ganyan. It's all, take it one step at a time. Ano pa ba? Sorry. Okay. Are there any tools that you can use in copywriting? Are there any tools that you can use in copywriting? Yes, definitely. You can use your Microsoft Word. Basically, Microsoft Word. But if you're asking about tools that can help you enhance or develop your content further or correct your content, edit your content, there is Grammarly. That's one. I use Grammarly to help me edit as well. Pero yun, as I said earlier, you have to be very cautious at what are the differences in sa culture kung saan ka nagta-target ng audience mo. Another tool that you can use, very useful for me personally, is, of course, the Google Documents. I have it on my phone. I have also the WPS for pag nasa on the road ako, may data lang ako, tapos biglang may magpapacheck. Yun ang nangyayari. I develop for tools. Notepads. Phone notepads would be good. But I personally would recommend that you have a paper and pen beside you all the time, even if you're going out, even if you're not in front of the computer. Because it helps to, minsan when we are not in front of our computers or naka-rest mode tayo, minsan doon dumarating yung ideas. So it's not actually just kung ano ba yung pinaka-effective tool, but more on how you're going to take down your ideas. Let's see. Next. Ay, hindi ko pala natatapos how saturated is online job market pala. Sorry, Roma. Okay. So for online job market online, madami ngayon. Always remember, content is king. Engagement is queen. So madaming nangangailangan ngayon ng copywriters. Ang medyo tricky part lang is, syempre, how are you going to sell yourself or how are you going to prove that you're someone that they can depend on? So it always has to be, you have to be very honest as to how long have you worked, how far have you learned as well, the skill set. Kung kaya mo lang mag-focus sa isa, let's say, blogging ka lang, focus ka lang sa blogging. It's nothing to be ashamed of. As I said earlier, nag-start ako sa web content and sa blogging. Recently na lang din I started 2014 for social media. I also had product description before social media. So it's just a one step at a time thing. Okay. Ano pa ba? Is copywriting a discipline to learn? It is the practical side of a discipline line art of writing. It is a discipline actually. Sabi nga, isa sa mga lessons na come up with, na encounter ko is, there's a difference between a writer and a wannabe writer. A writer writes even if he is not in the mood to write. A wannabe writer would always wait for the mood. So you have to practice. You have to, one way for me to really set my writing is by doing free writing. It's a technique na parang you're just shocking your brain or parang in-electrify mo na yung brain mo. Kinakondisyon mo yung brain. That's it. It's an exercise wherein, sabi nila, there is a part of your brain wherein it's very logical and the part of the brain which is creative. So free writing allows you to just let the creative side flow, shutting down the logic side for a while. So parang anything that comes into your mind, you just write it down on a piece of paper. Don't pause. Kahit nonsense pa yung nasa isip mo, you just write it down. You set your alarm for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, stop. Then another type of free writing. This time you focus on an object. Let's say you focus on a pen. So you write anything for 5 minutes. You write anything about what you find on a pen, anything that hits your brains, you just write it down for that specific set of pen. That's one way to exercise its free writing. Especially if you're not in the mood to write. So, yeah. Are there any more questions in the miss? Oh. I think we can carry back. As a graphic designer, when we do say a poster design for a consumer product text or categorized into 3 stage, heading, subheading, and garbage students. In copywriting, the heading and subheading are also considered copies. Yes. Especially if you're considering Google search results. Yun yung importance actually din ng copywriting. But this is more on the SEO side. So it's not just writing compelling headlines, writing compelling titles, or writing compelling descriptions. It's more on the SEO part na rin. So that's a different topic. But yeah, It's part of copywriting. Wow, good morning from Pangasinan. Good morning po. My mom is from Tarlac. Oh, wow. So are there any more questions? Let's see. Can we have a copy of your PowerPoint? Yes, you may. The ICT is going to give you the copy of this PowerPoint. Huh? Ah, thank you. Ay, yung video.
Yung view lang po ng link. View access po ng link ng presentation. Gagawin ko po siyang web.
Ah,
Para hindi siya ma-edit.
ay, oo, tama. So they will be giving a link where you can view my PowerPoint presentation. So watching from Placer East District. Hello, Miss Agnes. Kada tayong nag-DJ dito. Hello din po, Miss Carolina Rodriguez. From Lopol, STO Masbate. Wow, Masbate. Isang beses na akong galing Masbate. Gusto kong pumunta ulit. Siguro one of these days. Okay, thank you din po for coming for those who are here.
Question from our Zoom participants. Please type in your questions. We have a few minutes left. Pero it's good, maraming questions. Ang ibig sabihin, marami pong interesado sa ating participants. And really, this is a very exciting topic. This is not new, pero ang dami nating nakuhang tips from Miss Jen, di ba? So, questions po ulit. Keep it coming. Yes, we have a part 2 and a part 3. So, abangan niyo po yan. Please like the page, Department of Information and Communications Technology, LC3, or Luzon Cluster 3, web Facebook, and lahat lagi ang aming mga webinars. Are there any other questions? Wala na? Wala na pong question? Sige. Sige pa, Miss Jen, let's have a few last precious words from you. Sige pa. Before the final instructions from Miss Lady. Sige pa, Miss Jen.
Few words.
Few many words. Sige pa.
Few many words. So I think, wow, nahit natin before mag 10. Okay, that's good. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope I can see you all again this coming second series. So the second series and the third series. The third series will be on social media. As I said earlier, if you want to know about the social media side or writing content for social media, it's important for you to attend the second series. Yan. Kasi may mga items ako na i-discuss doon which papahapiwan lang natin nga sa social media, but it's very important for you to understand that part sa second series. Ano pa ba? So I think, I hope I've given something that can help you start with your copywriting journey. Again, you don't have to be good in writing right now in order for you to do this. It's all about practice. If you're writing or if you have your own Facebook account or if you're doing social media, then you're already doing copywriting on your own. You just have to know how to. Selling is just the term. It's more on offering. It's more on offering the help that you have for people who are going to read your content. So that's it. Thank you very much. Turning it over. Okay, thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you po, ma'am. So, ayun po. Thank you po, Miss Jen. So, nandito naman po ako si Lady Lee. Nandito na po ako. Papalit po ako kay Miss Jen sa ano po. So, thank you po kay Miss Jen sa pag-render po ng time with us and for sharing your knowledge po on the introduction to online copywriting. So, yun po. So, yun na po yung conclusion ng ating webinar for today. Ngayon po ay isasend po namin via chat box po yung evaluation form na need nyo po i-accomplish na meron din po siyang assignment kung saan nyo po i-upload yung inyong mga output po. So, wait, give me po a sec po para i-share po yung evaluation link. So, ayun na po pala. Send na po pala ng ating Luzon Cluster 3 office. So, thank you po, Sir John. So, ayun po. Thank you po for attending the introduction to online copywriting. Mga Zoom participants po and our FB Live viewers. So, abangan niyo po kami sa susunod po naming series which si Miss Jen ulit yung ating magiging resource person. Napaka-generous po ni Miss Jen sa pagbigay sa atin ng time. So, that's it po. Answer niyo lang po ang ating evaluation form and after that, expect po your certificates will be sent to you via email within 2 to 3 weeks po. So, yun na po. Thank you po ulit. Thank you po, Ms. Jen.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. From the ICT LC3.
From the ICT LC3, Sorsogon.